Prince William and Prince Harry are easily two of the world's most popular and well-known royals. As famous as they are, did you know that they have a stepsister? Here's the truth about Prince Harry and Prince William's stepsister, Laura Lopes. Laura Lopes, née Parker Bowles, has never been a prominent figure in the royal family. Many people have never even heard of her, probably because she and her brother Tom Parker Bowles have never felt like part of the famous family. He explained this on Good Morning Britain, saying that since his mother married into the royals, she was a true member, but didn't think the same could be said for he and Laura. He went on to joke,
We're the common children, we're just on the side.
Camilla's children were already adults when they joined the family, which may provide another reason why they've never felt like a central part of the royal unit. Unlike her stepbrothers, Laura has had to forge her own career separate from the royal family. As the Mirror noted, she graduated from Oxford Brookes University with a degree in History of Art and Marketing. Then she went on to intern at the Peggy Guggenheim Collection in Venice. Laura also worked as the motoring correspondent for Tatler magazine at the time her brother Tom was at the publication as a food columnist. After her stint in journalism, Laura shifted her work into the art world. In the mid-2000s, she managed the Space Gallery in London. Then, in 2005, she went on to co-found the 11 Gallery in London. According to Town & Country, Laura no longer works at 11, but has moved to Wiltshire, where she hosts exhibitions. The magazine noted that she also launched a fashion boutique named Mojo & McCoy with some of her friends. Regarding the boutique, she said, "We all have a unique sense of style, but it works." According to E!, Camilla Parker Bowles was determined to make sure that her children had a stable home life. But that's not to say things weren't complicated. When Laura was young, Prince Charles and her mother were simply friends, exchanging occasional Christmas cards and phone calls. Laura and her brother Tom knew Charles as a family friend. During this period, Camilla was a dedicated mother, attending her children's school events and driving Laura to all her playdates, parties, and lessons. Laura's father, Andrew Parker Bowles, reportedly had affairs throughout his marriage with Camilla. And then things were really turned upside down when a private phone call between Camilla and Charles was leaked in 1993.
But you have my word. My love for you is real.
Camilla became a constant figure in the tabloids, and even though she tried to shield her children from the press, Laura and Tom had to deal with the publicity too. In 1995, when Laura was 17, her parents divorced. Even though Laura was not born into the royal family, there's no doubt that the royal stepsister definitely enjoyed a super privileged upbringing. She and her brother grew up at Middlewick House, a beautiful 18th century home in Wiltshire. When she graduated, her parents bought her and her brother an apartment in London's upscale Kensington area to share. Despite her privileged upbringing, she has been encouraged to experience a more regular lifestyle too. While at university, she reportedly shared a house with her fellow students. She also worked as a waitress and dishwasher at a cafe for £3.50 an hour. According to Hello, Prince Charles apparently thought it would be a good experience for her. Even though Camilla Parker Bowles and Prince Charles didn't marry until 2005, their romance began much, much earlier. As the Evening Standard noted, they dated before Charles married Princess Diana in 1981. Charles also admitted to having an affair with Camilla towards the end of his troubled marriage to Diana.
I said to Camilla, I'm sorry I'm in the way. I obviously am in the way. And it must be hell for both of you. But I didn't know what's going on, don't you know?
This suggests that it's highly likely that Laura met her stepbrothers-to-be well before her mother's second wedding. As it turns out, Laura and her brother did befriend Princes William and Harry as early as 1998. Hello reported that at the time, a royal aide commented, "The boys rather look up to Tom as a young man about town." According to the magazine, this was around the time of Camilla's first public appearance alongside Charles. Hello also pointed out that Tom Parker Bowles is actually Charles' godson, so the four step-siblings sure do seem to have a long history. By the sounds of things, Laura hasn't always gotten along with her royal step-siblings. According to Katie Nichols' 2010 book, William and Harry Behind the Palace Walls, Laura and William got into frequent arguments around the time of Prince Charles' marriage to Camilla. As Nichols wrote, William and Laura used to have terrible fights over who was to blame for their broken homes. By the looks of things, the infamous love triangle between Charles, Camilla, and Princess Diana had soured the step-siblings' relationship. Nichols went on to add, William would blame Camilla for all the hurt she had caused his mother, which would send Laura into a rage. Apparently, Laura didn't accept William's version of events. Instead, she blamed Charles for breaking up her family and causing her parents' marriage to break down. As Nicole put it, she would take a hard line and fire back at William. "Your father has ruined my life." While the early days of Camilla and Prince Charles' marriage were tough for their respective children, tempers seemed to calm down. Eventually, Prince William and Laura put their differences aside and made amends. Apparently, the step-siblings have been closer as the princes have accepted Camilla into their family. In Angela Levin's 2018 book, Harry, Conversations with the Prince, Prince Charles' second-born said about his stepmother, "She's a wonderful woman and she's made our father very, very happy." In 2006, 1 year after her mother's marriage to Prince Charles, Laura Parker Bowles became Laura Lopes when she tied the knot with Harry Lopes. The wedding took place in a quaint Wiltshire village, and while it certainly wasn't quite a royal wedding, the BBC reported that around 500 people filled the streets to catch a glimpse of the bride and her famous stepbrothers. When speaking about her big day to town and country, Laura revealed that personal pictures were her favorite wedding gift, explaining, "I love the way they tell a story about that person." So who is Laura's husband exactly? Harry Lopes is an Eton-educated accountant who once worked as a Calvin Klein underwear model. Of his career transition, Laura said to Hello, "It's not as much fun as modeling, but it's more reliable." Not only is Laura Lopes happily settled down with her husband in Wiltshire, she's also a mother of 3. She had her first child, Eliza, in January 2008, and welcomed fraternal twins Gus and Louie in December 2009. By the looks of things, the Lopes children are a little more involved in royal life than their mother. Eliza was even a bridesmaid at Kate Middleton and Prince William's wedding in 2011, and as Hello reported, she found herself with the royals on the Buckingham Palace balcony, waving to the massive crowd. It's unknown if Laura's children are close with their royal cousins, but since they're occasionally involved in royal ceremonies, we're sure there are plenty of adorable playdates. Plus, as The Sun reported, Laura was apparently in the running to be godmother to Kate and William's third child, Louis, so it seems safe to assume the families are pretty close. While Prince William and Kate Middleton are apparently quite close to the Lopes children, it sounds like they've got nothing on Camilla Parker Bowles, who, according to the Daily Mail, goes by Gaga when she's with her grandkids. In the documentary The Real Camilla, Her Royal Highness, the Duchess of Cornwall, Camilla seemed to really enjoy being a grandmother, noting that she especially enjoyed not having to be stuck with the complete responsibility of caring for the kids as a parent, saying, "You can give them a wonderful time, spoil them, give them all the things their parents won't allow them to have, and then give them back again." The 2020 lockdown was especially hard for the Duchess, who told the BBC, "I shall look forward to the day when I can give them a huge hug again." Luckily, she managed to spend some time with her family through Zoom. The outlet also noted that she even downloaded the House Party app so she can play games with her loved ones. Camilla divorced her first husband, Andrew Parker Bowles, in 1995. 1 year later, he went on to remarry Rosemary Pittman, who was reportedly his longtime mistress. On this side of the family, Laura actually has a few other step-siblings. Pittman had 3 children from her first marriage, who became another branch of Laura's extended family. Pittman passed away from cancer in 2020. According to her obituary, Laura was pretty close with her father's side of the family. Her son told the Daily Mail, "She was especially pleased to reach Christmas and be able to see her new step-grandchildren." As of 2021, Laura Lopes doesn't hold any titles, even though her mother became Camilla Parker Bowles, Duchess of Cornwall, when she married Prince Charles in 2005. However, this doesn't mean that Laura will never have a title. According to The Express, there's a good chance that once Charles ascends to the throne, there's a chance he may bestow royal titles on Laura and Tom. As the IBT reported, Laura's status will likely change in a few other ways too. For instance, as one royal expert noted, the siblings might get some staff members and might even get protection. However, they'll never be assigned any royal duties as they aren't directly in line for the throne themselves. If Charles doesn't bestow a title on Laura, she might still become a baroness thanks to her husband. Harry Lopes is the son of a baron, so she would inherit a title along with her husband upon her father-in-law's death. Being the stepdaughter of the heir to the British throne certainly seems to have its perks. According to Hello, Charles has reportedly come to regard his stepkids as royals, but without the titles. One royal source told the outlet, "To all intents and purposes, Prince Charles now has a second family." For this reason, the prince reportedly set up a £2 million trust for Laura and her brother Tom. As the source put it, he is determined that Laura and Tom should be looked after and supported if the worst happens to him. Another source further explained the trust to the Evening Standard. The Prince of Wales is in no way trying to replace the role of their father, Andrew, but he has a good relationship with Laura and Tom. The source went on to state that Charles was also concerned about the increased press attention surrounding Laura and her brother, and he was doing everything possible to keep them protected. Despite being part of the extended royal family, Laura has managed to keep her life relatively private. According to Hello, she's always been introverted, especially in comparison to her brother. When it comes to being in the public eye, a friend of Laura's once told the magazine that she doesn't particularly like the attention. In 2006, Laura chose a local, quaint village church for her wedding ceremony. As one local pub landlord told the Daily Mail, "It's nice that she can still be herself and not be bothered in the village. Laura's a very down-to-earth girl and often comes in here, so it's natural that she would want to get married locally." Laura also spoke to W Magazine about the difficulties of being a member of the Parker Bowles family, saying, "It's not something you want to ride on for the rest of your life, but by no means am I ever embarrassed." Laura seems to have a sophisticated relationship with her family's infamous name. Plus, we're impressed at how she manages to stay under the radar. Check out one of our newest videos right here. Plus, even more list videos about your favorite royals are coming soon. Subscribe to our YouTube channel and hit the bell so you don't miss a single one.